Hi again, everybody. Bill Phillips here on a Tuesday. The clock is not ticking. Well, we'll keep track of it over on the other side. But 9 minute Phillip. Hopefully, everybody's having a great day. It is Tuesday. It is December 2nd. December 2nd. Can't thank Valley Converting enough for all that they do. Ken Valley Converting, located in T-Town, Toronto, Ohio, the Gem City. They recycle your paper products, give them a new life. If you have paper products, give them a call at Valley Converting, especially I have a lot of paper products. They will take care of you. It's a great organization run by Mike Biasi and just does a great job. And you can't go wrong if you check out Valley Converting. You can't go wrong if you're playing it safe today and not getting on the roads, at least during the morning drive here in the Ohio Valley. About 3 inches of snow, 2.5, 3 inches, 3.5 inches, something like that. Jeff measured it. I'll have to, reconvene, see if there was any additional accumulation. But between basically about 5 o'clock and about 8 o'clock, it was really coming down. People are having some issues. So hopefully everybody got around okay. A lot of schools canceled, a lot of schools delayed. So a bit of a wild morning, a lot of accidents out on the roadway. And just remember, slow it down. It's one of those things where, you want to, give yourself some extra time, watch out for the other person, drive defensively. But a snowy day. If anybody going to make a snowman today, probably some good snowman weather, I would think, with the snow that came down. Looks pretty good. Brian checking in, saying good morning. Brian, getting ready, I'm sure, for this weekend's big football game in the Big Ten, as we can talk some college football. If anyone wants to talk more about snow and everything, but, let's move it along. It's a snow day, but hopefully a good day. So, Brian, the Ohio State Buckeyes, Indiana Hoosiers, 1 versus 2 in the entire country, meeting in the championship game for the Big Ten Conference. Ohio State, fresh off of a win over Michigan. They won that one handily. Snowed there. It was a snow day there in Ann Arbor. Ohio State wins that one big. They're 12-0. Indiana 12-0. They played who did they play? Purdue? I think it was Purdue that they played in their last game, and they trounced Purdue 59-3 or something like that. 56-3. 56-3. Indiana beat Purdue on the road. It should be an interesting ball game. I mean, it's going to be one of those games where you don't know. I think everyone's still waiting for the shoe to drop with Indiana. They're for real, but are they that for real? Can they get it done in the big moment? Can they win a championship? Can they win a national championship? Right now, they're in a good spot. So, Brian, what do you think? Do you have anybody that you like in that game? Other games from the big playoffs or pre-playoffs for college football, and it could go ways. This is a big. Here's a really big one. Tulane is 10-2, taking on North Texas. Tulane could get in if they get a win on Friday night. So that's a big one in the American Athletic Championship game. Then Texas Tech and BYU, both are 11-1. BYU, Texas Tech's 5th, BYU's 11th. If you're a Miami Hurricane fan or a Notre Dame fan, you wouldn't mind seeing BYU lose, because that might knock them out of the top 12. Alabama, if they lose a third time this year, they take on Georgia in the SEC championship game. If they have a third loss, would that put Miami and Notre Dame into the championship? I don't think Miami gets in, because Virginia and Duke play. If Duke wins, then that really throws everything for a loop. They're 7-5. Virginia's 10-2. Virginia's a good team, but they are rated 6 spots below Miami. So I think the winner of that game will be the only ACC team that gets in, unless you have a BYU and Alabama lose on Saturday in their championships. Let's see, Brian said, I would rather win the national championship than the Big Ten title. Absolutely. But why not win both? Why not win both? Why limit ourselves? Anytime you're playing, Brian, let me ask you a question, because I thought it was ridiculous when he said it, but Pat Narduzzi, the head coach of Pitt, when he basically came out and, he's trying to get his team ready. He's trying to make a statement, but when he came out and said they were ready to play Notre Dame, and he came out and he said, if they hang 100 on us, all we have to worry about is winning our next 2 games to get into the ACC championship game or have a chance to get into the ACC championship game. And they went and they won their next game, went on the road, got a really good road win at Georgia Tech, and then they played Miami at home, and Miami did the same thing that Notre Dame did to them. They beat them up pretty good. Now, and I'm not saying that your mentality or anything that the coach tells you a few weeks earlier is going to impact that. My problem was with the Notre Dame game. You have one of the greatest college football programs in the history of the game. Pitt's one of the top programs with all of their history. Now, they're not on the same level right now, but why would you make a suggestion to anybody on the team that you can go out and lose that game and it doesn't matter? I mean, my thing is, if you're playing, you're on national TV, you're in a stadium that holds 60,000 people, give or take, and you're not worried if they, if you lose, okay, if they score 100, doesn't matter. That's before the game. Now, after the game, you say, well, that's when you say, hey, we got beat up pretty good today, but you know what? It doesn't matter. We have to win our next 2 games. I'm not worried about this Notre Dame game because it doesn't impact our conference play. I mean, yeah, I think that went through. So but I'm definitely win all of them. That's, like the Big East Conference when it first got started, it was one of the toughest conferences to win a basketball championship in the tournament. And then I'm like, why wouldn't people say, oh, you get eliminated early, you get some extra rest? Well, I don't want extra rest. I want to play more. Indiana's a pretty good challenge for us. It'll be an excellent challenge. I mean, Indiana has shown that they can play with anybody. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. But yeah, I want to win every championship I have. If there's a championship, let alone a game, I want to win every game. But a championship, you want to win every single one. I don't know. I just now I have an interesting thing, little tidbit of information. My man Mike Biasi. We're gonna hear from him right now as we continue on our cavalcade of fun. We're going to hear from him.
Every piece of paper has a story. What if that story didn't end when you were done with it?
At Valley Converting, we turn your old paper products into recycled paperboard, continuing the story.
Locally owned and operated in Toronto, Ohio, bringing your paper to Valley Converting isn't just about recycling.
It's about supporting a cleaner, greener future for all of us.
We are here 5 days a week to help you make some green by going green.
And remember,
recycle for your future.
All right, Mike Biasi and the crew. Now, the thing is, here's the interesting tidbit. Mike Biasi, Ohio State through and through. His wife, Indiana. Yeah. So I sent him a text that was like, a house divided this week. And he said, she's number one in my heart, but the Buckeyes are number one on the field. And that's not going to change anytime soon. So he is okay with everything. So Indiana, good challenge, absolutely. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. No, it wasn't the smartest comment from Narduzzi, but he made the comment, and it is what it is. But so those are the college football championship games this weekend. I think the most intriguing one, obviously, is the number 1 against number 2, and that's 8:00 at night, and you'll be able to see it on Fox 9 at 8:00 Saturday night. Big Ten championship game. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Tulane in North Texas, that's Friday night. That's on ABC at 8:00. BYU, Texas Tech, that's at noon on Saturday. That should be a pretty good ball game, actually. And then Alabama, Georgia, always an interesting game. And Virginia and Duke. Winner of that game goes to the playoffs, no matter what. So if you're a Notre Dame fan, if you're a Miami fan, if your team is at the back half of the rankings in terms of the top 12, you want to see an Alabama loss. They would give them 3 losses. They would be out. So, Tulane's, if they or BYU, if they lose, they would still be 11-2, and they lose in the championship game. So maybe they don't get penalized. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with all of that. Bill, I'm surprised you don't think Miami will make it. I don't. I don't. There's mathematically, it's becoming more and more difficult because somebody's going to go from the ACC, so that takes a spot, and then Notre Dame. I just don't see how the committee they put Notre Dame, or they ranked Notre Dame. What are they, 8th or 9th? So they're ranked 3 spots higher than Miami. Miami went on the road, won a good game at Pitt. 22nd ranked team, beat them on the road in cold weather, and everyone always worries about Miami in cold weather, but they won, did it handily, looked good doing it. Notre Dame went out to Stanford, handled their business, won big over the Cardinal. So even though Miami beat Notre Dame head to head, I don't think they're going to jump 3 spots. So somebody else is going to have to lose for Miami to slide in there, and I don't see it happening. Now, one of the interesting things somebody said about, or the committee has said, or coaches have said, TV people, they're talking about Miami's or Notre Dame's losses are better than Miami's. Well, Miami shot themselves in the foot. Carson Beck threw 2 interceptions, one in overtime at the goal line, and one getting in position to tie a game up with Louisville, game that Miami had 4 turnovers. They didn't play well. They that was middle of the season. They're playing great right now. But those 2 losses, it was Louisville, and who was the other team? SMU. At the time, SMU was ranked. But so now everyone says, well, Notre Dame's losses were better losses because they were Texas Tech and Miami. Okay. Yes. Miami, Texas Tech better than Louisville and SMU. But how do you penalize? You're going to penalize Miami twice. You're going to say, okay, well, Miami's losses were bad. And then the big thing is, everyone's in the committee apparently came out and basically said head-to-head doesn't matter. Well, okay, if head-to-head doesn't matter, then why play the games? But then on top of that, well, in a head-to-head, Miami beat Notre Dame. So that's the reason it doesn't matter if you're going to try and get Notre Dame in there. Now, I live in a Notre Dame family. I have no issues with Notre Dame, but it's just one of those things where I don't think Miami's going to jump 3 spots. All right, what do you make of Lane Kiffin's situation? You know what? I saw something this morning that was interesting. I can't think of his name now. I can see his face, but they offered him, what was it, $90 million or some crazy amount of money that he's going to be making, which isn't the end all be all, but it's a situation where LSU, they win championships. They have the facilities to win championships. They, put themselves in a position. They are one of the big programs in the SEC. And if you have the right coach in there, you're gonna win championships. And Brian Kelly wasn't the right guy. He just never seemed to be a fit. I was surprised when he took that job. Obviously, he has the resume to do it. But Lane Kiffin he's always been that next thing. He's that sexy coach that everybody wants because he's innovative with his offense and everything else. And when he stumbled, he's come back, rebuilt himself, and taken over. Now, the thing with him, though, is you're in a weird situation that he gets offered the job. It's the new challenge, he says, but you're in the middle of this playoff thing. So I think it's Dan. It's former player, quarterback, works at ESPN. Can't think of his name for the life of me right now. But he basically came out and he said, I blame the playoff committee or the schedulers for the national championship stuffs or when you can hire or not hire a coach. He goes, what's Lane Kiffin supposed to do? Well, we got hung up here, I think, a little bit. Maybe. We're frozen. We're still moving, but we're frozen. Look at me just sitting there frozen. All right. So anyways, Lane Kiffin situation, it makes sense that he said that it's really a problem for the committee to fix because, if you play the playoff, if you schedule the games, play them, and they're allowed to talk with other schools, then this is going to happen more and more often. Now, if you set the games a little bit later or make it a rule that you are not allowed to hire a coach away until after they are done playing, like in the NFL, then that's the way you should go about it. So, all right, well, we're stuck on this Frozen thing. So, Brian, thank you for checking in. Trish, thank you for checking in. Hopefully, everybody has a great day, and we will see you next time.